What's up YouTube, and welcome to today's review, the Switch 2. The long wait is finally over. So the first thing that I notice is that the buttons and the joystick feel really good. The size of this new Switch 2 is of course much bigger, and the Joy-Cons also feel slightly better in hand because of that. And as most people know, this version plays up to 1080p in handheld modes, and up to 4K on the TV or monitor. And of course, if the game supports 4K as well. The exterior is pretty similar to the previous model, but of course, quality of life upgrades, such as better speakers and better charging placement. The game card slot is also slightly different in the way it opens, but nothing crazy. The cool part is that the Switch 2 also plays Switch 1 games, but more on that in a minute. Another big change versus previous models is the table mode stand. And to be honest, the one on the Switch 1 just sucks. It doesn't work and it falls over pretty easily. This newer version is much better and works great in my opinion. The Joy-Cons are much bigger as mentioned earlier and easily come off with this button. Instead of sliding, the magnets hold the controller in place. Works much easier in my opinion. The color scheme is also looking really good. I wasn't a big fan of the blue and orange-red color, but the way they did this in the new controllers is just awesome. And these new controllers also have a mouse function. Pretty cool for some games. And like the previous model, there are also protection cases that clicks on and doesn't slide on like the previous model. The controller is also pretty cool. No big changes, but just a little bigger, and of course magnets instead of sliding. Compared to the old Joy-Cons, we see that the new ones are much bigger. It's the same with the controller itself. The old Joy-Cons still can be used on the Switch 2, so don't throw them away. Later in this video I will show you how to connect them. The Switch 2 is much bigger versus the Switch 1 as we can see here. This is great for when playing with two players on one screen, or if you want to play handheld mode just by yourself. The docking station is also slightly improved in my opinion. It's bigger, which is of course no surprise, but it also works much better. The older model was kinda annoying to open, but the newer model goes much smoother. We have the same in and output plus an optical output. Now let's play some games. So as mentioned earlier, the Switch 2 also plays Switch 1 games, both physical as digital versions. And it works pretty good in my opinion, no big surprises there. And the cool part is that some games get a free upgrade on the Switch 2. This Zelda version was released on the Switch 1, and the Switch 2 version of this game will cost you about 80 euros. But if you have the Switch 1 version, you can also choose to upgrade this to the Switch 2 version for just 10 euros. Or just play the Switch 1 version on your Switch 2 for free. This will have no additional cost. It's up to you to make that decision. Most paid upgrades will allow you to play better resolutions, quality of life updates, and in some cases even extra content. There are also games that have free Switch 2 upgrades. So right here I have Pokemon Scarlet for the Switch 1 digital version. I download it on my Switch 2 and have a free upgrade without doing anything. And of course, the Switch 2 also has some great dedicated games for the Switch 2 only, like this new Mario Kart. The graphics are looking really sharp in 1080p compared to the 720p for the Switch 1. It's also much faster in loading times and plays up to 120 FPS. The screen itself is also much brighter. Now, as mentioned earlier in the video, you can pair your old Switch 1 Joy-Cons to the Switch 2. Great for when throwing a Mario Kart party and you don't have enough Joy-Cons laying around. It's really easy. Go to the controller section and click on the pairing button on the old Joy-Cons, and that's it. You can only use them detached, because these are sliders and won't fit on your Switch 2 screen, but that's okay. Now let's check the different playing modes we have, starting with the table mode, where we use the backstand for the Switch. It works pretty great as you can see, and due to the bigger screen it's also much easier to play with 2 people on one screen. Now let's switch to my 4K 65-inch TV to see how that looks. And well, you decide for yourself. Down the line, I think the Switch 2 is really worth the upgrade. It's much better in almost every area compared to the Switch 1. And don't get me wrong, €500 is a lot of money, but I think we still have a few years to play on this console, so for me it's definitely worth it. And what are your thoughts on the Switch 2? And also tell me your favorite games in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next review.